eating a rock cake, he will say, listen, you got to eat a piece of this. Friends, I say to you that you have the best person to represent you come February 21st, Dwight Sutherland. Oh, yes.
Swing the bell. Good night to the people of Allerton. Good night to all the people from the St. George South constituency. And a warm St. George South welcome to the Barbados Labour Party and my friends. Welcome to my hometown, Allerton. Good night. People, I have benefited from the political wisdom of this man who's standing to my left, Sir Louis Tull. This is years and years of walking the walk with the people of St. George South. And I want you to thank him for over 30 years of representation. Having said that, Sir Louis Tull is history. And the present representative has been running against Sir Louis. But I want you to send a message to her tonight. She has to run against Dwight Sutherland and not Sir Louis Tull. Thank you, Sir Louis. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Louis. I'm here tonight seeking to represent you. I'm here tonight because you have called me to step forward. And I have answered your call. I have answered your call from all around St. George South. From Allerton to Campaign Castle to as far as Tods, all the districts, Newbury, all the districts in St. David's, and I call all the outskirts one. So I encompass everybody, and I'm proud to do so. And I'm proud to do so because I am aware of what it is you are asking me to do. And I pledge tonight to you that I will not betray the trust that you have placed in me and ask me to come forward to serve. And I say to you tonight that I will become the next representative for St. George South come February the 21st. I didn't say that boastfully. I say that because of the last 2.5 years, the work that I have been putting in within St. George South. The last, well, somebody said 10 years. And they're actually true, but I won't get there yet. I am talking about the last 2.5 years that I have walked the length and breadth of this constituency. And I'm also proud to know that I can represent you because I am aware of what you've faced within the last 5 years. And I know what it will take to rebuild and restore the pride in constituency representation of a homegrown person. And I say that tonight because we, the people of St. George South, we have been afflicted within the last 5 years. We have been afflicted by the Democratic Labour Party and the current MP for St. George South, who think that representation is about being on a television, being in the paper. Somebody say paparazzi. But I don't want to dwell too much tonight on the representative for St. George South. I want to let you know that this started way back in 2011. And I said 2 years. We started a movement in St. George South when you all came out to St. George Secondary and resoundingly chose me to be the candidate for the Barbados Labour Party. You started a movement that shocked the entire Barbados. You started a movement that created history. And we ain't finished there. We will carry on because I know on February the 21st, we will rise again and you will resoundingly support Dwight Sutherland like you did back in 2011. Our movement that we started back in 2011 is a movement to bring real representation to St. George South. It is a movement with a candidate who has stuck by the people, who has walked with the people, who has talked with the people. Unlike others, somebody said. It is a movement that we have started to show what representation is about. Representation is about serving and not being a movie star. Representation is about creating the opportunities for the people within St. George South, lending them an ear and creating the necessary programs that I would have created within the last 2 years. That is what representation is about. We made history with our movement because the people understood what Dwight Sutherland, what St. George South means to Dwight Sutherland. And I wish to say tonight that I am prepared to take the abuse and the vilification that will be heaped upon me in the next couple of weeks by the Democratic Labour Party and its candidate for St. George South. It has started, but I want to let you know that the Dwight Sutherland, who has been in church from a little boy, whose grandfather started the Ellerton Gospel Hall, and whose grandmother was an evangelist at the Farm Road Church, Pentecostal Church, will not be going in the gutter. I will keep it clean and above board because I believe I believe if I speak about the representative for St. George South as a female and I go into the gutter, people like Shanika who represented me just now, my wife who's here in front of me, my mother, I will be cursing them as well. So I ain't going there. So you let them start. They have started the insincerity already because we recently had up at the campaign office, some members showed up and they call it something like Obia, but I don't believe in that. I am someone who came up in the church and I believe in putting God first in whatever I do. That is why when we went to the school at nomination, I will boastfully say that we are one of the few persons, whether B or D, who stood up and asked God to bless me in that second phase of being the representative for St. George South. But they have started the abuse because those of you who are from Ellerton and from St. George South, you know where I am employed. I'm still employed, contrary to what some of them walking boot here saying, and I'm going to deal with that now because it is insincere and it is lies, the hypocrisy and the propaganda that they are spreading about me. And I wish to mention it now, and this is the last time I will speak about it. Because the next place I will go is to the law court, and my representation is free. Those of you who know that. But Rudon Eversley, I don't know if he's as fortunate as me to get free representation in the law courts. But Rudon Eversley, let me tell you, and the media, I want you to carry it. Rudon Eversley last week called the Arawak cement plant, and he spoke to a very senior person. And he said he understands that Dwight Sutherland has been suspended for the past 2 months, and he showed up for work on Monday, and he was sent back home. Pray tell me, if you understand labor laws, I don't even know if the present representative can explain this, because she has done some things in her time as the Minister of Labor that is not worthy. But nonetheless, pray tell me, can you be suspended for 2 months? Can you be suspended for 2 months and also driving a company car? I am a proud product of Arwac Cement Company for the last 17 plus years, going into 18 years, and I'm still employed today. And I have a proud track record as a professional engineer. And no one would honestly, if you try to taint it, I will take you to the law courts. I send that message to you wherever you work. I'm not calling your institution, but you know who you are. So they have started the lies. But you know how much St. George South means to me. And I have decided, like Mahatma Gandhi said, I have decided to become the change I seek in this world. Because if as a community, the good men and women, you and I, if we can't stand up in the face of injustice, it will only continue. So we have to become the change we seek in this world. And I will represent you wherever I go, whether it is in Barbados or overseas. St. George South will be represented by Dwight Sutherland. And this is a journey that has now started. This will carry on. I want to break Louis record in terms of representation in this constituency. You and Ellerton are responsible for my being. I went to school just a stone throw down the road at the St. Luke's Ellerton Primary School. That prepared me for the large school. And what I can say to you, the church have been a bedrock and foundation for my development and shaping my value system. St. George South is full of churches. I went to church at the Ellerton Wesleyan. I've been to the Ellerton Gospel Hall where my grandfather was a founding member. I've been to the Farm Road Church where my grandmother was an evangelist. And I can tell you the church has been a bedrock. So leaving Ellerton Primary and going to large school, the Rocks, the Rock family, the Grosvenor family, the Daniel family, the Lashley family, those are the people, among others, the kings, who would have shaped my value system. And I can do nothing less to come to St. George South people and ask them to join me in continuing the servant work, continuing from where my grandfather has left off. Those of you who know, who knew and who know Stephen Sutherland, the history of Stephen Sutherland. One eye Stephen, somebody call him. He was the district butcher. He was the well digger. He was the district everything, the vet. And he ingrained in me. He said, you know what, Dwight? 2 things I want to teach you. Humility and respect. And he also said, to be a good servant, you must do for the people. And on his dying bed, I was at St. Augustine pursuing my studies. And he asked me, he said, Dwight, carry on smartly, but at some time I need you to get deeply involved with constituency representation. And I am doing this as a result of what my grandfather has instilled in me. Community service is etched in my DNA as a result of Stephen Llewellyn Sutherland. And I will carry on. Whether it is with the schools, it is with the churches, it is with the Rotary Club, which I'm a part of, doing service above self. I am a man of the people, and I will continue being a man of the people with your support and with God's grace. I am privileged to know that you, the people, young and old, know me. And I know you by nickname. Some of you I know by first, last name, and nickname. Some have nicknames like August. I can see him in the crowd now. And you know me by name and nature. And you know I have never left St. George. I feel so proud of St. George. And I have to tell this story. I hope the wife don't feel too emotional. When I met my wife back in 1992, I brought my wife to St. George. And in 1996, my wife became a baptized member of the Ellerton Wesleyan Holiness Church. And she ain't from St. George. She's from Silver Sands and Bank Hall. Father from Silver Sands, mother from Bank Hall. So we have never left St. George. And representing St. George to me means something. And I want you people to look at the last 5 years. And I want you to consider what Dwight Sutherland has done within the last 2.5 years. And if I can do that in 2.5 years, what happened if you give me 5 years? Will you think what happened if you give me 5 years? Somebody said I want 10, but I already said I want a Breakfast of Louis Vuitton record. It's with good representation, and I can represent the BD, the N, everybody. St. George South has been faced with a crisis of confidence, and it is a homegrown crisis of confidence. Back in 2008, the Democratic Labour Party brought a candidate to you, and she came to you, a very attractive person, with a lot of pretty and attractive words, and she asked you for your vote. And she promised that her representation would be one that you can touch and feel. I want to ask you the question tonight. If within the last 5 years, have you touched or felt the representation from the Democratic Labour Party candidate for St. George South or MP? You also said in your words that she has made an absentee representative. You have been disappointed with everything or most things that she has done. She came to you and she begged you for a vote. And after she got that vote, she ran through about 3 ministries being kicked around like a football. And she is finally settled. And I am happy because she went to school with me. I am finally happy that she is settled in the ministry of labor. But she ain't really settled because she went into labor and she made a mockery and some big mistakes when she fired her personal assistant. She did not follow due process. And as a minister of labor, those of you who are trained unionists and those of you who sit on councils would understand that if you as a minister don't understand due process, then something is wrong. So everywhere she went, she has fouled up. But she came to you and she asked you for your vote. And you, as a homegrown person, you place the confidence in her to represent you. So when we walk around St. George South, and I feel it when I walk around St. George South, people are disillusioned about politicians. Disillusionment about interaction with the present representative. And I am getting the brunt of it. When she can get on Ellerton Pastor and she can look at Gregory LaLuke Goodrich, one of the icons in Ellerton, and speaking to the home team, one of the icons in Ellerton who would have captained Barbados football team, who would have gone to England, playing in the Premier League and First Division, and you don't know who Gregory LaLuke Goodrich is, then something is wrong. Then something is fundamentally wrong. And that was done. When you look around on this pastor, those of you who are standing directly in front of me, how you feel looking through that fence? I want to ask you, don't come too close or else you're going to fall down in the road. This was like this for the last 5 years. And the representative passed through the Minister of Sport, promised the members of Malvern Cricket and Football Club that this fence will be fixed. And has the audacity to come here tomorrow night with a reggae concert, Luciano. That is what they want to do to you like they did in the last election. Buy your vote, and after that, you don't see them. But I would have been ashamed to bring a concert here as the MP for St. George South, and my fence looked like that. The last debushing that was done by my team, Dwight Sutherland team, in St. George. So we went in the housing area with the bush. We came here with the bush because we said, boat here is unsightly. And I want to give you one too. Just over there where Mother Corey Rimple, good night to you, Mother, is operating. By that bus stop, I usually come around and hang out with the guys because I have time for the people of St. George South. Whether it is the shop, it is the churches, it is the schools, I have time for the people. About 2 months we sat down and we watched a hole right by that bus stop and cars coming up, bending the rim. Her 15-year-old establishment that she boasts so much of. She usually go there. I went to fix the hole. What the guys, Red Dog and them guys tell me, sorry to call you so, but I call in nicknames tonight. The guys tell me, Dwight, if you fix that, we ain't going to vote for you. That is what the guys told me. She said, the guy said to me, your representative, our representative, because she's mine too, pass here every day, hitting that hole. We have mentioned it to her, and over 2 months, we have not done anything. But you know where I work, I can fix the hole easy. Where I work, I can fix the hole easy. But the guys told me, and I didn't want to lose them vote because the guys around here are very serious guys with the politics. And they told me, the guys threatened me, if you fix the hole, that hole by that bus stop, we will not vote for you. So I'm saying the last 5 years has been chaos. Callous representation. When you can tell people that they need to get up from home and go and look for work. You really understand that statement, though? You telling the people of St. George South, and it was done up in Drexel, you know. I traveled the length and breadth of this constituency, so I know whatever happened in this constituency, good night, and from the city, welcome to St. George South. I know what happened in this constituency. I went to church one Sunday at Bethel Pentecostal, and I decided to take a walk. You know me, I like clothes. So I dress, my wife dressed me properly, and I walking through in my suit. All I can hear is psst, psst, psst. But nonetheless, I was on a mission. And I went by the guys on the block up in Drexel. The guys told me, Dwight, that comment started right here. We were joking with the representative. She went to church one Sunday. And we asked her, we can't find any jobs. She said, you know what? You guys like to handouts and things. You need to get up off your tail. You want the government to look for jobs for you. Now, when you put me in, I want you to judge me by my actions. Because I think I am responsible for every one of the electors within St. George South. Whether to find employment, whether to advise you, whether to point you in the right direction, whether to counsel you, whether to love you and hold you, those little children at the school that hug me up the whole day when I pass through here, that is what my job is as a representative in St. George South. I will feel awful if I tell you, get up and go and look for work. What I will do, I will tell you, let me help you look for work, because I think that is my responsibility as the next representative for St. George South come February the 21st. But that and all, I am not going to spend my whole night discussing her, and I'm sorry I came last because I have a lot to talk about. Because most of the gentlemen on both sides of the fence, whether B or D, these guys presented a little leaflet as to what they would have done within the last 5 years. And my wife said a book, because I read Donville in his own. I also read Ronald Jones' own. And the guys had like a book. But what the representative for St. George South bought was a paper printed back to front. And the paper had a lot of preamble, you know what preamble mean, and a lot of verbiage, garbage that it can tear. So after 5 years, and you can just bring a paper, and your other members of parliament and cabinet ministers who would have held one ministry for the 5-year term, and you held 3, and you can only bring to the electors here to St. George South a little paper with 0.5% of verbiage and preamble, then something is wrong. But I want to deal with 2 of the things that have been placed on that little paper. And that is the Greens project by James Rack. Those 51 or 52 houses, I often get mixed up. When I count, sometimes it's 51, sometimes it's 52. Pam, how much it is, Pam? 51 or? Pam says she can't get no repping. But I want you, the people of St. George and the BLP and the friends of Dwight Sutherland, to know that that housing project that the representative for St. George South is claiming is hers, that was vested under the Barbados Labour Party. And if you understand project management, Project management ain't only about execution. If you want to take kudos for executing it, that is okay. But you have to go through feasibility study. You have to find the land. You have to get drawings. You have to get tongue and country planning approval, all these things. And that project was vested under the Barbados Labour Party. But I cry shame of the representative putting down on a piece of paper that that is her project. In addition to not being her project from inception, when I canvass, and I've canvassed James Jack Street and that entire 51 houses twice. And I've been there on a number of occasions when the officer got shot. You know the officer that got shot? I'm not calling her name. She lives up there. I went and I looked for her. But I am telling you, those houses, if I had been responsible for the execution of those houses, I would have been ashamed to tell anybody that is my project. According to Pam, it is the first set of houses that we see bleeding. We see bleeding after 2 years. Fungus in there. Only recently I had to write National Housing a letter on behalf of the residents up in there. Fungus in the houses, the courage killing the little kids. Fungus in the house, the little strips around the house dropping off. And the residents are saying they are getting sick. But you would only know what is happening if you canvass. And you have the gall to talk about 51 houses that you built in Greens. Well, let me tell you something. I can send you back to do some more canvassing. Because I can tell you tonight, I can get more votes than you in that housing project. And I want you to go and do your research. And I ain't boasting about it. I would have gone there and spent time with the residents of James Jack Street and the others. So you go up there, you can't move, none of them. When it's so crazy that when they even put BLP supporters in James Jack's project and then calling saying, that is your housing project and you have all the votes in there. Well, Esther, you are the outgoing representative. I'm sorry to call your name. You are the outgoing representative for St. George South. Because on February the 22nd, I will walk through here proudly as the MP for St. George South. But I also wish to mention, as you go further west from the housing project, is the center, the community center. And that too is on her list of achievements. That too is on her list of achievements. Well, that too was vested under the Barbados Labour Party. And if you notice, the Barbados Labour Party within their 14 years from 1994 to 2008 would have done a lot of community centers in this country. And I don't mind if you take him claim for execution, but on David Ellis' show, David Ellis always said he's not giving kudos to any project that was started by the other administration, and you taking kudos for it. So I want the representative for St. George South to tear up that paper. Tear up that paper. You should be ashamed to talk about that paper. You talk about doing roads in St. George South. You came to the people in 2008 with a list of roads that you will do when you get in. And I can list all of them. The road from Buckley, when you go down, Walkers, going into Jordan. Anybody here from Jordan? That road fixed yet? The road in Drexel Woods. Anybody here from Drexel? That road fixed yet? The road in First Avenue Greens from the Hangover Hut right up. That road fixed yet? Somebody say it ain't fixed. Somebody said she almost broke she foot in a hole. But I don't want her to get hurt because we have to take it above board. I don't want her to get hurt. And if you see her fall down, pick her up too. Because we ain't about doing anything to hurt her. We about dealing with representation and to make sure that we vote her out come February the 21st. That's all we're doing. So I ask you, the people of St. George South, where are the projects? Where are the jobs? Where are the opportunities for the young boys who are on the block? Where are all of these opportunities? They were promised and nothing was delivered. So I say to you, this is a DLP that only like to form an impression, but no substance. This is a Democratic Labour Party who used the reggae artists in the last election to win an election. And I know you would have fooled the young people in 2008, but you can fool some people some of the time. But Bob Marley tell you what? But you can't fool the people all the time. But I want you to go tomorrow night, you know. I know you like music. I don't have any difficulty if some resident people said they're going in town to hear me, because I supposed to speak tomorrow night again. And I can bring another message. Somebody else better can get the money. It's free. It's free. But we are talking about a Democratic Labour Party government that would have wasted money on football, that would have wasted money on inquiries, that would have wasted money on summer camps, that would have wasted money on roundabouts. As an engineer, I cry shame on John Boyce. He's an engineer too. Any of you ever try to maneuver around the Orange roundabout? Anybody of you? How can you create such a disaster in this country? He should be placed in an engineering jail, and I keep the key, because I will determine when to unlock him and bring him out. Somebody say what? Man, I don't think John can beg for my job. I don't think John can fit in my shoes. Those of you from Arawak, let them know that John can't fit in my shoes. He cannot fit in my shoes. That is 18 years of hard toiling and hard labor, working with a team of people, building relationships, what the representative has failed to do in St. George South. And what I have started, and somebody said with the brains, well, I am smart, but I don't like saying that. But nonetheless, I don't think he can fit in my shoes. While my opponent has spent all the time with CBC and the Nation and the Advocate, I have been working my vision for St. George South. And I want to spend the next couple of minutes talking about my vision for St. George South. Because if I focus on her too much, I will be dignifying what she has done, and it ain't nothing to be dignified in. So I want to focus on some of the things that I would have done within the last 2 years. I am a visionary, and I have been responsive. And one of the things that I've done thus far is to start the St. George South Trust Fund, Development Trust. And that trust is a trust to deal with the more vulnerable people within society. That trust is a trust to deal with the school children. That trust is a trust to deal with scholarships, internships, to help people. People don't want a handout, they need help. Whether it is giving somebody a little scholarship, whether it is giving somebody to repair the house like I did up in First Step with a 93-year-old man on the operations response, that is what we will do. The tarpaulin was thrown over that 93-year-old man's head. Somebody tell me he is 96 now. So that goes to show it was 3 years ago. The church called, and Dwight Sutherland responded. I was responsive. We went there. The man was living in squalor. And what we did, we went in as an engineer, we assessed, and I found a solution. But I didn't do it by myself. I spoke to the residents of St. George South, mainly from Ellerton, that I know. And I tell the guys, listen, like my grandfather said, you have to do things to help people without asking for money. And we went to that old man rescue. We rebuilt that house with the electrician, the plumber, the carpenter. And the only cost, Laddie was the electrician. Peter was the carpenter. Devon was the truck man. And I bought the lumber. And that man today, he told Barbados today that the best thing that ever happened to him in his 93 years of living, Dwight Sutherland did for him. Rebuilt his house. That's not all I have done. I have spent my time with the school. Last year on Arbor Day, I planted trees at every single school within St. George South. Actually, I didn't get to one because at that time I had a board meeting at Arawak. The only one I didn't get to was Workman. But I have a team, and the members of my team represented me, and I was told they did an excellent job. So I don't do things by myself, and I want you to clap yourself, the team, St. George South Branch, for helping me that day when I could not get away from Arawak Cement. And you people planted the trees at Workman. So we did that. And we didn't just plant the trees. We had sessions with the young people, teaching them what Arbor Day it was about and the importance of greening the environment. So we raised the environmental awareness. That's not all, you know. We went in the housing area and we debushed the housing area. And you would not believe that when the representative for St. George South heard what was happening, they had the DLP conference. She drove up in the housing area. And those of you, I ain't telling like, when she saw who was working, she bent down and held her belly because she could not believe that we can mobilize people with whackers, women and men and young boys and young girls to clean up the area. And we have some more work to do in that said area. We came here. We would love to fix the fence, but funds will not permit us. But I will tell you, when I become the representative on the 22nd, I will leverage my private sector contact to have that done. Because you don't need to do all one time. You need to pick at it. You can do it in a phased approach. You can do the east, you can do the west. But these are some of the things that we have been executing. That is not all. I journeyed into Workman, canvassing in Jordans and in Workman. And the residents from in Middleton said to me, you know, this is a long time we have been promised a bus up in Middleton. And I said to my team, what can we do to assist? We are not in government, but I think if we write a decent letter, somebody will respond. And we wrote a decent letter to the transport board. The transport board came, and the transport board had a site visit with my members, the team members. I didn't go. Members of my team. Then we said, listen, look, let me go to Woodland. We went to Woodland, look at Woodland. But some of the issues are, and I have the letter here. You can't see these things at night. You can't see these things at night. But I have a letter here, look. The bus went into Woodland, and she's saying that we can't get anything done. But she don't understand who I am. I will push down the wall to make sure that St. George South people are represented. I will push down the wall to make sure that we find solutions for the issues that we are faced with. And I will read one of the letters here, not to take too much time. But having gone into Middleton and the bus could not pass, one of my brilliant members, we sat down one night and they said, hey, listen, look, we can find something that can work. We will let the bus go. We will ask transport board to let the bus go when it get by Shalene Shop, go right up the hill. If it go right up the hill, then the residents, they do not have to walk that far. And we said about that. And this is a letter that I wrote after transport board came. And transport board would have helped us. This is my thank you letter. And I am proud to say tonight that the bus started to go up the hill to ease the residents from Middleton in November 2012. But that and all, let me read it first. I wrote to Transport Board and not calling anybody name who I wrote it to. I thank you for your urgent attention to the above captioned matter, which I raised with you in a letter dated the 20th of January 2012. Let me pause. E1330, P8648, police want cars moved urgently. Please move them. So this is a letter that I wrote, and I said I am pleased to know that the hardship which the residents endured have been brought to an end. Residents have reported to me that the improved service began on Sunday the 4th of November. I am heartened by the level of cooperation exhibited by your OM, Mr. Whoever, I ain't calling names, who worked directly with my assistant, Mr. Ambrose Grosvenor, to bring this much-deserved relief to the residents of Workman and Middleton. Once again, many thanks to you, and please convey my gratitude to your staff in handling this matter. Would I write this letter just for verbiage? Just to prove I can write letters? I have given street lights up in Melverton. Street light up in Boyd Mill. I leverage my private sector contacts to make sure that the residents of these people of St. George South get an ease. So I don't know what the DLP and St. George South representative walking book telling people that I can't get anything done. Those of you who live in St. George South and those of you who have benefited from some of the things that I have done, when they come to you, tell them that is not true. A lot of lies and insincerity. But I want to move on. I have a goal plan for St. George South. A goal plan for homegrown representation. I have a constituency office that I will transform into an advisory center. You can come to that center to get documents signed. You can come to that center to get legal advice. We will be doing legal aid clinics. You can come to that center to find out how you can get a loan. You can come to that center to inquire how to get references done. These are some of the things that we will do. I also will transform my website, www.dwightsutherland.com, into a portal so that you, the residents, can advertise your businesses. You can go on and you can find out who's selling pudding in the South, who the seamstresses are, who the masons are in St. George South. I also will establish a mentorship program with the churches for the schools. But I want you to know this is what the Constituency Council has not done. The St. George Constituency Council, it does not have any members of the church, any pastors on it. And if you're talking about St. George being a place whereby the church is the bedrock, I cry shame on the Democratic Labour Party for starting a Constituency Council without any member, any church leaders on it. But I will go further. I have visions for St. George South that are long-term, like a town center, ATM machine, gas station. Those are some of the things that I have vision for, but they are long-term plans and can be executed within the first 3 months. But nonetheless, people, what I am asking you to do is to go out and vote on February the 21st. Vote for Dwight Sutherland. And I want to leave you with the words of Psalm 119. Look upon my suffering and deliver me, for I have not forgotten your law. Look upon my suffering and deliver me, for I have not forgotten your law. Defend my cause and redeem me. That is what the Barbados Labour Party will do for the people of St. George South. So go vote. Vote for a better Barbados. Vote for your children's future. A vote for Dwight Sutherland is a vote for a better country. A vote for the Barbados Labour Party, proven, tried and tested track record in resurrecting this country from the mire under the Democratic Labour Party. Vote for your children's future. Vote for your future. I thank you. God bless you. Good night.
Still got more to come, still got more to come. Just reinforcing the driver of E3130, the driver of P8648. The police wants those cars moved urgently. Friends, that was your next parliamentary representative here.